Congratulations, you've discovered the lost level.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 81 of The Lost Level. I'm Adam.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Alex.
We've got a new episode coming at you this week. We will be discussing...
Coming at you.
Coming at ya.
Episode 80, right?
One.
81? Oh,
Yeah.
shit, son, you're right.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to that triple digit there.
That's going to be like a year away the way that we record.
Well, you know, it's still kind of close. But anyways, we're going to start off today's podcast with X-Men Days of Future Past. A little non-spoiler discussion of what we thought. Then we're going to hop into a game and movie news and reviews.
Yeah.
Just news, I think.
Just
I guess.
news.
Yeah.
Just news and games and movies. But yeah, this is X-Men Days of Future Past, leading off the summer blockbusters and something near and dear to Adam's heart.
Oh, to say the least.
So I guess let's get it over with. Adam?
Best movie ever.
Now, from a real perspective,
Well, maybe not best movie ever, but best comic book movie, in my opinion, ever.
All right.
yeah, it was definitely a solid comic book movie.
Yeah,
I will give it that. It was really good.
The parts I stayed awake for, it was really good.
Yeah, right, dude. You were freaking on the edge of your seat. We went at the same time, so...
We didn't go together. We just went at the same time. I sat on opposite sides of the auditorium.
Yeah, you don't like me very much, I know.
No.
It's that weird smell you have. It's kind of fishy.
Listen, you know, it's out of my hands. I can't control it.
That's
It's
why
called bathing.
That's why we haven't done a weekly podcast. It's
But-
because
but
your
what?
stench. Yeah.
So back to X-Men.
All right, go ahead. You want to run with this? This is your baby.
It is, man. I mean, I was so nervous going into it, hoping it would be the world's greatest
You
comic book
were
movie.
because I was giving you so much endless shit for it. I'll fully admit that.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, I've been an X-Men fan for as long as I can remember, and we've had a series of not-so-great X-Men movies since X-Men 2. I mean, we've only had First Class, that was a great movie, and to a degree, The Wolverine was enjoyable,
To you,
but X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins Wolverine were
Garbage.
subpar, to say the least.
Garbage.
Yeah, they were garbage.
they were really bad. Yeah.
So we've had not a lot of respect from Hollywood for this franchise. And with First Class, that's really started to turn around. And with the return of Bryan Singer as the director, he, of course, directed the first two X-Men, X1 and X2, which were fantastic movies.
No, it's fantastic is a strong word, but
Oh, fucking awesome movies, dude. I mean, the first X-Men really kind of blew up as, you know, like, hey, comic book movies can be a serious and great thing.
see, I felt that more with the Spider-Man series.
Spider-Man came after the first X-Men.
Yeah, I know, but I still don't think they were taken that seriously until Spider-Man.
Well,
Yeah. I looking at it like in retrospect, I think Alex is more. I think he's correct in that regard because X-Men, while it was a better film that we've seen previously, it didn't have that draw that it should have.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have
was
that
still very much
recognition.
a comic book crowd for it.
It
Well,
didn't
I
have
think
that. Yeah,
Spider-Man brought in a wider audience,
yeah. I'll say
but
that.
that's beside the point.
I mean, it's still an
Still
okay
a solid
flick.
movie.
Yeah.
to me, it was the first movie that made comic book movies serious.
Okay.
That kind of brought them to more of a broader audience.
Okay.
Where people that weren't comic book fans could still really get into it. You know, before that we had, you know, some good movies that were serious, like a Blade 2, but just not the same caliber.
Yeah, but I don't think the thing with Blade and Blade 2, I don't feel like they're recognized as comic book movies, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because Blade is such an obscure character, even in the comic book realm, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there was like you said, they were fun movies in their own respect, but I think we're really going on a crazy tangent here.
We are.
Let's focus back on Days of Future Past. So my statement was that this is the first really great X-Men movie since First Class, and before that, the really good X-Men movie that we had was X-Men 2. So we've had at least 3 not-so-great X-Men movies, 2.5, I'll say, because I actually enjoyed the Wolverine. But yeah, I mean, this is... The franchise is back to being what it should be.
It's in full swing.
Yeah, we've kind of gone past the Brett Ratner and company garbage that happened with X-Men 3.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of like the universal acclaim, saying, all right, we'll forgive you for Last Stand now that you've delivered this. It's hard to argue, I guess. I mean, really, realistically, it is an okay movie.
You son of a bitch. How about a short synopsis of X-Men
Yes.
Days of Future Past? Alex, since I'm a little biased on this, let's have you give us a little synopsis.
No, I want to hear your bias. I want to enjoy this full blown. Like,
No,
this
I-
is what I've been waiting for months.
Honestly,
I
I
want
don't
you-
want to be the one talking about it the whole time.
I want you to talk about this the whole time. This is your movie. This is like the one thing that you talk about intelligently.
So it's the
on this
future
cast.
and not the days past. And mutants are being slaughtered by the handful by Sentinels because humans are afraid of mutants because they're a threat to their existence. So mutants are getting cut down left and right, and there's a small resistance with Bishop and
Blink, Warpath.
yeah. And basically, they're trying to find a way to save themselves, and they come up with a bright idea of sending Wolverine's consciousness back in time, because he's the only one who could do it because of his healing ability. His mind would repair from the damage of this consciousness time travel. They send him back in time to prevent the measures that lead to this mutant genocide,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yep. So then it's set in the 70s, and they have a plot to fix the future, basically.
Prevent the
And the
Sentinels from
days
ever happening.
past.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. And I don't know. I really want you to go with this because, like, this is the only thing you know intelligently. The rest of the stuff on the podcast we tolerate, but like this is your thing.
Dude, it's, X-Men's near and dear to me, so of course I'm going to have a biased opinion on this, but
I want to hear it. I want to hear this biased opinion. Like, this is it, man.
so ask me questions. What do you want me to say?
Wolverine, how did you like him?
I liked him just fine. I thought he was utilized just enough in the movie, and he wasn't, as Chris was afraid, I think, overused in the movie.
He was overused in this movie.
Well,
He's
was,
everywhere.
He was integral to the movie.
He is.
I don't think he was overused, though, because of what he can do, his healing abilities, which have been used in comic books past, like House of M. His mind heals just as his body does, so he's able to do this conscious time travel thing. And that was, an important crux of the movie to right the wrongs that led to this genocide of the mutant race. And while he is important, they do spend a lot of time with the relationship between Magneto and Professor X. Professor X himself as a person developing and growing.
Yeah.
The relationship between fucking Mystique and Magneto even that takes a crazy turn as well. So I mean, it's very character based and character driven on motivation, and there's very little motivation from Wolverine's standpoint. He just wants to right the wrongs, and it's really focused around Professor X and Mystique and Magneto and Trask to a degree. Even though I felt that character wasn't developed as well as it could have been,
Yeah.
it's still important to recognize.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think McAvoy and Fassbender's relationship is what made First Class what it was as a great X-Men movie, and
definitely.
and it carries over into this film. Like, you care about the relationship. You want to see them on the screen together because they're so charismatic. I mean, they dominate their performances, and they're freaking phenomenal. So
They're very emotional and very intense.
yeah, like I love them on screen. Every scene that they're in, even if it's like a slow beat moment where it's not necessarily like an action beat, and it's just those two on screen talking, and it's just like them on an airplane just bullshitting and like getting through their emotions. I am captivated the whole entire time. It doesn't feel boring. It doesn't feel like it's just like, all right, you're getting me to from point A to point B, and I need to get this dialogue in to get to that point B payoff moment. No, I'm in the moment the whole entire time from point A to point B, which is something that like I've been complaining about in my recent reviews.
Yeah.
Where it's like you don't have that feeling, and I love those two. They're freaking phenomenal. I want every X-Men movie to have those two in it.
I think
forward.
that's the direction that they're going to go at this point.
I hope so. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit at the end when we're wrapping up here. But like, yeah, I love those guys, man. I think that even the Mystique character played by Jennifer Lawrence is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
There's just a lot of good in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
she's been really well developed on the topic of Mystique. Like in the previous movies, she was just kind of there as, you know, a secondary character. She was Magneto's sidekick, Magneto's henchwoman.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yep.
And now she's a full-blown character with a personality and motivation, and
It's integral to the plot.
exactly, like, the movie basically revolves around her and her actions. You know, without spoiling too much, you know, Wolverine travels to stop something she's going to do.
Yeah.
So, very awesome.
Yeah. What else do you want to say about it?
Well, I guess we've said that I love the movie. I guess I can kind of touch on some of the things that I didn't like or
Okay.
wasn't happy with.
Yeah, go for it.
Alex kind of mentioned Trask. I think was kind of underdeveloped, and for the talent that Peter Dinklage is, the character was kind of boring. You know, he was just boring.
He was there. He was kind of a plot point more than a character,
Yeah, he
which was disappointing.
Yeah,
I mean, granted that me and Chris were talking about this earlier. Chris does bring up a good point. Is there's a lot happening in this movie, and it would be a lot to undertake to really develop that character as well. I mean, they did what they can, but I felt like they could have done a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they portray him in the way that he needs to be portrayed to progress the story. Like, he is thinking ahead of everybody else in our society or in Congress or everything like that. Like, look, there is this mutant problem that is a potential threat to us, and we need to be prepared for that. And he's ahead of the curve the whole entire time, and that's his role in this movie. Basically, is just proving that he's ahead of the curve. He has a Sentinel program, and it's up to the X-Men or the mutants to kind of, I don't even know the word, like, to defunct that, like, to make sure that doesn't happen where we're in a world of Sentinels, so to speak.
Right.
So, yeah, I liked his character. I didn't think necessarily that he needed to be more developed. Yeah, I guess so, but I don't want a 3-hour film. Like, I think that it was nice and tight the way that it was. The pacing was good. We covered all the bases that we needed to cover throughout the progression of the story, and I wasn't really upset about the fact that he wasn't as developed as technically he could have been.
Fair enough. The only other thing I could really think of that kind of irked me was that they never explain how Professor X from the future is back and has his old body. Like, you know, at the end of X-Men 3, he transplanted his consciousness or whatever into that vegetable body, but why does he, look like himself? That was kind of completely avoided as a topic. I don't know if it's going to be in the director's cut or something, but, that's just me having I guess one of those comic book nerd gripes where I want answers to that.
I just think they treated Last Stand is an abomination and kind of just forgot about it. Like, let's not worry about a lot of the shit that happened in Last Stand, and let's try to fix as much as possible
Yeah.
going into it. And then if there's stuff that we need to leave out, we're just going to leave out and hope people don't remember it, like Adam.
I didn't remember it, so
Well, I remember it specifically because of the ending of the Wolverine. You know, the post-credits scene where Wolverine meets Professor X at the airport and Magneto, and he looks at Professor X and he says, "How is that possible? You know, how are you alive again?" And it, you know, so obviously that's a topic that's even to the characters in the universe. It's like, you know, how, but we never get an answer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they describe it or explain it in extra cuts. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't too concerned about it.
Do you guys have any gripes with the movie or any dislikes?
I wouldn't say a huge gripe, but Quicksilver in this movie was seriously underused because
Yeah.
he stole any scene he was in. I mean, there's only a couple scenes, but those few scenes, it was a great character that was a lot of fun, and the actor did a good job portraying him.
I like the fact that he basically had almost like ADD. Like, it wasn't just that he moved fast, but he thought and spoke fast. You know, he was
Right.
just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I really wanted to hate his character.
Because of how he looked.
Oh yeah, the character design's fucking stupid.
The-
but
horrible character design. I wanted to hate on him because of that. And being a Marvel fan, or I guess a Whedon fan, they're introducing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch into the Age of Ultron. So I always wanted to just be like, oh, well, they're doing it right on there, and fuck this part of Quicksilver. But no, they did a good job.
That scene was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
in the
kitchen?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's a lot of people's scenes. Like I've been reading a lot online after I've watched it, and everybody talks about Quicksilver and the fact that he stole any scenes that he was in. They're right.
Yeah.
That guy's a really good actor. You know, you got to give it to whatever his name is from American Horror Story.
Peter Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I didn't expect much out of that character, and to say I was pleasantly surprised is an understatement.
Evan Peters.
There
Oh,
you go.
okay.
We were close.
My fault.
I mean, he's only in the movie for 15 minutes, but still, it's
Yeah.
it's a fun 15 minutes. It's witty, it's entertaining, it's
It's
really
iconic.
stylized as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's iconic. It's like you get that introduction to the character that you don't get enough of, and you always want more. Kind of like what Boba Fett was to Empire Strikes Back, or like you get that character that people just fall in love with. And I think Quicksilver is type of that type, or he falls into that category where people are like, "Damn, that dude is badass."
Yeah.
and I want to see more. And I really wanted to hate him. God, I wanted to hate him.
Chris and I were talking about this earlier. That scene, actually, the main Quicksilver scene, is really the only scene that looked good in 3D. Because Chris and I, we saw it in 3D, and
See,
outside of that, there's not much of a reason to see it
Okay.
in 3D.
I don't know necessarily if I agree with that. My gripe was, well, what I said basically about the 3D is like, I don't know if my brain is trained to just watch 3D and not pay attention to it and realize it's 3D anymore because I watch a lot of 3D movies. So I don't know if it's that or there just was an underwhelming experience watching this movie as in 3D. I'm probably we're actually going to watch it again this week in 2D, and I'll see if I notice a difference. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't great 3D moments that I need to say like, yes, you need to watch this movie in 3D by any means. And I think that's going to be the unified going forward, the stance going forward, because like everything is just kind of post converted, and technology is moving away from 3D. People are realizing that they don't want 3D, so we're just going to see the post converted era. So I don't know if there's going to be any movies going forward that are going to be like, you need to see this in 3D.
I honestly don't know why you're wasting your money on 3D anymore. It seems silly at this point.
Okay, that's fine.
You're a silly person.
Well, Chris and I have 3D TVs, so we're kind of partial to it.
You're a silly people for buying 3D TVs.
No, because that's the technology that was available when I bought my TV.
Yeah, like, a year, 2 years ago, you'd be hard pressed to find a smart TV that was in 3D.
That was just a feature on it. So yes, I buy my movies in 3D if it's available and it's a good 3D conversion. So yeah, I'll still buy it. That's fine.
That's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, there is
Those
a
are
lot of
big
ifs
ifs.
involved. I fully admit there's a lot of ifs, but like if it's post converted, like it's a mess, then I'm not going to waste my money on this extra 3D movies because I know it's just a cash grab. So I'm realist about it. I like the 3D features. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. I like the 3D experience in some movies, but not every movie that's going to be post converted is going to be amazing in 3D, and that I need to get. I don't think that this movie was necessarily a need to watch in 3D.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, so we've been ranting about this movie, or I guess not ranting necessarily, but what do you want? You want to end it? Let's wrap it up.
Ratings?
Yeah.
4 out of 4. Love it. That's, is it? Are you surprised?
No,
Yeah.
No.
Do you want to say anything about that 4 out of 4, or you just want me like 4 out of 4 done?
This movie makes up for all the shit X-Men movies we've had over the past, I don't know, decade. When it's just awesome, man. It's so enjoyable. It erases. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a time travel movie, so a lot of mistakes that were made in previous movies
Have been expunged.
have been expunged. And in a respectable way where it makes sense in the universe where, like, it's kind of like Star Trek. It's a fresh start.
I was just that was part of my review, basically. Yeah. It is a fresh start. It is kind of like Star Trek, where they explain the two universes and they exist, I guess. And it is a fresh start. But yeah. So 4 out of 4?
4 out of 4, man. It's just, it was, to me, the perfect comeback for a beloved franchise. So obviously I'm being a little bit biased, but I don't give a shit because I love X-Men. I loved this movie. Thank you, Bryan Singer, for just bringing it back, man.
Okay. Alex?
I'm not giving it a 4 out of 4. I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 out of 4. It is a solid movie. We've mentioned our gripes here and there, and I think there are gripes that should be noted to the very least. But shit, you're going to be hard pressed to find a more entertaining movie this summer. So it's definitely something you're going to want to take the time aside to see, especially if you're a comic book fan. So go ahead, see it. 3.5 out of 4.
Chris?
I think I like Godzilla more.
You're so fucking stupid, dude.
All right. I went into this movie not wanting to like it nearly as much as Adam, just because I didn't want to lose my bet to him regarding our bet. And I bought him a pack of Guinness, basically.
Yeah.
Because I lost. I fairly admit that this movie is excellent. It's phenomenal. It's really freaking good. It's everything that I wanted a sequel to First Class to be, despite my reservations and despite my nervousness of Singer taking over and bringing the band back together. It didn't matter. It still gave me the First Class feel that I wanted. Bringing Fassbender, bringing McAvoy, their characters, progressing their characters like they should in a sequel. It also brings Jennifer Lawrence to a whole new level as Mystique as well. So it gave me everything that I wanted from a First Class fan, and it gave me the nostalgia factor of the Singer era as well, and it all paid off in a beautiful, beautiful way.
Yeah.
It's everything that I wanted, and I didn't want to say that. So I agree with Alex. 3.5 out of 4. It's a must watch if you're a fan. Definitely, it's up there, man. Like I'm gonna go watch this movie again this week because it was that freaking good.
One of the best comic book movies.
Yeah, I'll definitely go one of the best comic book movies. I don't know what my favorite comic book movie is right now. I have to sit down and really think about it. But it's up there, man. This is a great film from the start to the get. There's no lulls in it that I really had gripes about.
It goes right into action right from the get-go.
It goes into action, and like I was mentioning earlier, the dialogue parts, even the slower parts of this movie, where you like would naturally feel like, just let's get back to the action. Like I was still captivated. It still mattered to me. Those parts meant something as getting to the rest of the story. So it's a good freaking movie, man. It really is.
You have no idea how happy that makes me to hear that, because you never like movies.
I do. I'm just critical about them, and it's hard to be critical about this movie because it's good, man. It's solid. So, gaming news this week: removing Kinect creates more games? ?
Yeah, that's what some developers are claiming. So we've gone from a number of developers being upset about the notion of no Kinect to others saying, "Hey, this means we have a broader,
audience.
We can create things that don't necessarily require Kinect."
Yeah, well, they could make that before.
I don't know. I feel like there is something with Microsoft saying, "Hey, you want exclusive on our platform?
You need to use Kinect."
Yeah, use some Kinect.
Voice commands or whatever.
That's any technology, though, man. Like any tech, like even Sony when they did the 6-axis control. Like, hey, you want to make stuff for our Sony? You got to incorporate 6-axis some way.
Yes,
It's any platform where
And
they're
how did that
trying
turn
to.
out?
Right, but I'm just saying, like
So-
any platform does it. It's not just Microsoft's fault.
right.
It's
But now that Xbox doesn't require the Kinect, you don't have to buy the Xbox One with the Kinect. It's not a requirement. It's not a necessary gimmick for all the potential buyers out there, so they don't have to shoehorn that bullshit in there.
Yeah.
which is good.
Yes.
I mean that's fine. I love my Kinect because I use it for the voice commands for my TV and my multimedia functions. I don't use it for gaming.
And Christ, if they're able to implement it in a natural manner, more power to them, because I mean that just helps the development process, and it broadens the scope of gaming in general.
Yeah, I mean, to use an example for the PS4, the new Infamous, they used the spray can method. I think that was the most innovative, creative
Shut
way
up.
to use.
Shut up.
No.
Shut your stupid mouth.
Let me finish my thought.
I liked it too, man.
No, I didn't say I liked it. I'm saying that it was the most creative way to use your gimmicks for a new system. It felt more natural because I'm actually shaking a spray can as I normally would.
Because you're a big time tagger.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, it felt more natural as opposed to shoehorning something in where, like in Killzone, I need to use my 6-axis controller to move one of the levers, or a lever on a pipe, or a valve on a pipe, or something like that. That in Infamous felt a little bit better. I'm not saying I liked it by any means. I hated
It was clever.
I hated it because it drove me fucking batshit insane, because like I didn't want to keep doing it over and over again. But it was the most clever way to do something in a gimmick type of way. So I can't picture a time where I'd be using my Kinect in a gimmicky way that would be a natural payoff necessarily. I guess with Dead Rising, where if you're too loud, it might attract some zombies or something.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't care about that aspect to it. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm usually not screaming at my games when I play it, so like that was never it.
Because you're not Adam. You don't have Tourette's, and you're not like screaming.
The only time I scream is online multiplayer, dude. That's it.
Okay.
And I don't usually wear a headset, so it's just me screaming at my own TV if I'm getting annoyed. And not like screaming like crazy, but I just swear a lot. If I get killed, I'll be like,
Oh yeah.
I'll drop an
Yeah.
F-bomb and...
Yeah. So basically, the story is, if this gives developers more opportunity to create more games for the Xbox, then cool.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest point to it is retailers are already seeing a bigger demand or bigger interest in the Xbox One, which is a win for both Microsoft and the video game community as a whole. So, whatever people think, I think it's going to be a good move to have made that as an optional feature.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm still not sold on the Xbox without the Kinect, but if it helps people buy consoles, then so be it. All right, Amplitude. Remember that game?
Yeah. very fondly.
There was a Kickstarter, and it reached its funding goal.
It almost didn't.
Yeah,
It
apparently.
was about to fail, and then last moment everybody kind of chipped in.
Yeah, we
A
remember
last
this
minute
game.
push.
We really like it. We want the new version.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
it's nice to have something like that versus another Dance Central. So
What was wrong with Dance Central?
Hey, we had fun. Wait, was that Dance Central we were
No,
playing?
we played.
that was Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Yeah, and by we you mean somebody else.
No, we played it. Shut up.
Yeah, we did.
We definitely did the Ghostbusters.
The
theme song.
Ghostbusters, yeah. Well, yeah, to our credit, it was the Ghostbusters song, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was magical.
I think the dance games are hugely popular. Wreck Band was hugely popular. These games have an audience.
Yeah.
So
Well,
The problem is that they're oversaturated. That's the problem. You have the new one like every year.
you got oversaturated because like you had to buy so many different
Peripherals.
peripherals for these damn games. So you ended up for the last generation, you ended up having to have like 2 full band sets
yeah.
in order to play these fucking games, and like no one wants all that shit in their living room. That's just too much shit. So if you could like streamline it a little bit and like not have it so obnoxious, then yeah, it's cool. Like I wouldn't mind having a uniformed one where I just have one and we play it every now and then, and I can store it in my closet and call it a day.
I kind of want one that's kind of like a one-man band thing, like, from Mary Poppins. I want a game like that.
The harmonica.
You should
yeah.
you should start a
Symbols.
Kickstarter.
Oh, God, but I need programmers and I need connections first.
Just say you have the connection and see if there's interest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm making a one-man band. You down?
Let's do it.
And make it for the Wii U, because like a lot of people have the
That's
Wii U.
the pitch. You down?
Oh.
No, not at all.
But anyways.
Left 4 Dead. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a game that I always wanted to play with Adam, but he would not play it because he's stupid.
Yeah, remember when I bought a copy just so we could all play together, and we never did.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You guys could have played together.
It's not the same. We were doing a lost level Left 4 Dead type of thing, and you're like, oh, I don't even have an Xbox anymore because I'm stupid.
It's like I got rid of it. I wasn't using it.
Well, we were giving you a reason to use it, and you would still not use it.
I didn't want to pay $50 for Xbox Live to play one game, to play like a $10 game.
Motherfuckers just got on Steam and saved me the money, so we could have played that way.
I would have played it on PC, but Chris doesn't do any PC gaming at all.
What PC
So,
game?
That game's like 5 years old.
Yeah.
You buy a $200 laptop and run it on an Ultra, probably.
Left 4 Dead Survivors brings a new team of Japanese arcades.
Yeah.
And
so the new Left 4 Dead is going to be an arcade-only game in Japan.
and
And, of course, it has a Japanese schoolgirl.
Do they
What?
flash her panties every now and then?
I would imagine that's a definite yes.
Then I am moving to Japan to play this game as a living.
does she peace sign the zombies to death?
Oh, probably. Like, she's selfies and, she's always kawaii. So
Yes.
I just threw this story in there because, like, how
Because you like
stereotypical is
girls
that?
in Japanese school outfits.
No,
That's fine.
not even, dude. I'm, like, way past that phase of my life.
Really?
Yeah,
Uh,
totally over it.
All right. What else do you want to say about it?
That's really about it, man. Left 4 Dead, 4 new characters. One of them's a Japanese schoolgirl. Of course.
Of course. All right. Metro Redux remasters Moscow for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yeah, great franchise. Being redone for current gen. For people that wanted to play the first Metro and didn't have a PC or an Xbox 360, here's your chance to play it on the PS4.
And I didn't play this game.
see, here's. I feel like I mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. I played the first one for about 2-3 hours. Then it glitched on me so that it auto-saved, and for some reason, my character would not bring up his gun.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, so essentially, I had to try to go through the game without shooting people. And for a first-person shooter, that doesn't really work.
Unless it's Deus Ex or something.
True.
Yeah, but this is far from being Deus Ex.
Yeah. So
Like a horror first-person
yeah.
shooter.
Maybe this is enough to give me a second try.
Yeah,
Maybe.
both games on one disc. I mean,
Right. Because, I mean, they get good enough feedback, so I'm like, I probably should go back and try to play it again, and hopefully it won't glitch out on me. But I'm not willing to make that risk.
it's a really cool sci-fi universe based off of Russian books.
Mhm.
It takes place in Russia. For those people that aren't familiar with the Metro series, it's post-apocalyptic. The game is called Metro because everybody lives in subways. Because the top, like the Earth itself, is like super hyper radioactive.
Right.
And nobody can go out there without suits or masks and stuff like that.
Right,
And there's radioactive monsters and mutants and just bad people. And I thought it was a really cool game. You know, a lot of the economics in the game based off of buying and selling bullets and deciding whether you're going to use them to kill people or use them as money.
Yeah. It's like a more linear Stalker series.
Yeah, that's a really good description there, actually.
If people know what Stalker is.
Oh, sorry, I'm watching.
I know. I've been distracted by the Zumba commercial as well.
There's a Zumba commercial on right now, and this girl's doing the booty push technique, and it's captivating. So what were we talking about?
Booty Ole. Or Metro.
Metro Redux.
Radiated Russians killing monsters.
Well, if I have a preference between radiated Russians and this Zumba chick doing the booty push, I'm going booty push.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's anybody's choice.
Lots of HD remixes these days, but I think this one is something that...
Does this mean that we're entering a new phase of HD remakes? We've had it with Tomb Raider, now we're having it with Metro. I mean, so this thing's not dying out. They're just pushing it to the next generation.
The Last of Us remastered?
Right.
They're just cashing in. I mean, they're trying to get as many popular things over to the next gens, and they're easily... I don't know if they're necessarily easily convertible, because Naughty Dog was bitching about the conversion for PS3 to PS4, but it's important for companies to do that, to get onto that next gen.
It makes sense for some of those later games. So you got the feeling that they really wanted to be on a next gen console. They were really pushing that limit, and so it makes sense for those.
For sure.
Metro, I'm not so sure about, but whatever. I mean,
I'm happy about it just because of the fact that it's a franchise that a lot of people may have not had the opportunity to play. At least the first one, because the second one was on PS3. At one point, it was actually a PS Plus free game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the sequel people have had the opportunity to play on Sony consoles, whereas the first one was Microsoft exclusive.
All right. Speaking of, I guess, kind of exclusives, Ubisoft, who was always been a supporter of Nintendo, is now not going to be showing anything at E3 for any Nintendo U, or for the Wii U, or for the 3DS.
Yeah. Nothing at all for Nintendo.
And they've been like the one publisher who's been always been like kind of supporting Nintendo.
With Rayman and Rabbids and you know, etc.
It's kind of crazy. Is it like another sign that, like, hey, Nintendo, let's wake up here?
Are there any big developers left that are working with
there's
them?
like nothing going on with them.
there's nothing AAA going on for Nintendo, and that's the problem. I mean, as wonderful as the Rayman games were, I wouldn't say they were AAA. There wasn't a lot of...
You know what? They sold a shit ton of copies.
Oh, yeah,
though.
yeah. But the
sound
production value wasn't AAA. They didn't put the millions of dollars as you would expect a Watch Dogs or an Assassin's Creed.
But they didn't need to, though.
Exactly. So, because, I mean, it's simple 2D. I mean, gorgeous 2D, don't get me wrong. It's 2D art, so you're not having these huge 3D environments that require a lot more programming, a lot more artists behind it. So, I mean, you can only push those Rayman games out so much before they start to get stale, like Assassin's Creed. And so eventually it's going to have to taper off for Nintendo.
Well, I mean, Ubisoft also, they launched with Zombie U
Yeah.
when that came out. That was a launch system or a launch game, and I think it sold some consoles for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Realistically, I still haven't played it really.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Didn't you return it?
I bought it, and then I bought it because I had a deal, like buy two get one free or something like that, and I ended up just returning it. Not because it's a bad game by any means. It's just because I don't play games very often, and I just opted to maybe get it when it was less expensive, which I think right now at this point I can probably pick it up for like $10 anywhere.
Yeah, I'd say $20 or less is.
Yeah, $20 or
bet.
less is the safe bet for that one. So if I wanted to play it, I can go back now and play it. I'm personally excited. Wii U, I mean, there's a new Mario Kart coming out. Mario Kart 8 comes out on Friday,
It's been getting good reviews.
and it's been getting really good reviews.
I mean, Mario Kart always does.
It kind of, yeah. So we'll see. So I'll probably buy that game. That'll be like probably the next and last game I'll probably buy for the Wii U.
No Smash Brothers for you?
We'll see, because like there was a news story this week regarding that where they're saying that it might go the Skylander route, and if every game is going to go the Skylander route regarding all these multiple characters at this point, like, no, man, enough's enough.
You gotta buy toys and shit.
I don't want to buy toys for all of these things. It's bad
Right.
enough. Like, I'm having a hard time trying to justify buying the Marvel ones just because I like the Marvel universe. And
for Disney Infinite.
right, like, am I gonna have to buy all those? Like, if it plays, like, I've been fighting about this internally, and I talked to Adam about it. Like, if it plays anything like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, then I'm gonna buy every fucking one of those toys,
Every single one.
and I'm gonna be
And
like,
the variants.
and I'm gonna be so mad about myself because I crave an Ultimate Alliance game again because those games are so freaking good.
They
Yeah.
were really good, really deep and rich in the universe of Marvel.
Right, I loved the hell out of those games. So if the Infinity Marvel Universe game plays anything like that, like, damn it, I'm gonna end up buying those stupid fucking things. So then, like, if now I hear like if Smash Brothers is gonna be like that, I'm like, no, man, I can't have all these things. Like, we were just talking about peripherals and being too much in your damn
Shelf
living
space.
room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want all of these other peripherals just for all these different games. Just give me a stupid Smash Brothers that's just Smash Brothers. I can unlock characters as I play and call it a day. I don't need to buy the toy that is associated to it for
But
$10
they
more.
want you to.
Oh, obviously, it's a huge moneymaker. They saw what Skylanders did, and they're like, oh, let's run with this shit.
Yeah, turns a $60 game into a $600 game.
Exactly. Like, I Skylanders 1 and probably 2, I spent, fuck.
You have a crate full of those toys.
I have too many of those damn things because of my daughter, not because of me.
Right.
Sure.
But yeah,
Because she was the one out there looking for variants. Glow in the dark and furry and clear Skylanders.
who does that?
And Chrome and Neon and Invisible.
I don't know what you're talking about. Far Cry 4 controversy.
Yeah, people are saying it's racist.
How?
Apparently because the cover. There's only one image that's come out for the game so far. It's just the cover. And it is a white dude sitting on what appears to be a religious statue, which is also creating controversy. But he's got his head resting on
Or his
a
hand?
darker skinned. Did I say hand?
You said head.
Oh, he's got his hand resting on a darker skinned fellow's head, and people are saying that's racist.
I hate people.
Yeah, like
Like, seriously, guys, you make it racist just by saying dumb shit like that.
yeah,
Like, you need to understand that. Like, the whole problem with racism is because you make it that way. It's not because of the image. It's just dumb.
Yeah, I didn't even really see that when looking at the image. Like,
I didn't think the only thing I thought of it, or I thought of when I saw the cover was, wow, that dude is wearing a really ugly pink suit.
Like,
Right?
he belongs on a Saints Row cover.
Yeah, I did not think racism. I just thought that this guy's some sort of, drug lord or mafioso. That's just very flamboyant. I didn't think anything that he's racist or that the cover's racist. I just thought that he's a boss and he's got this guy that is obviously subservient to him. But people are gonna find negatives and everything, I guess.
People have a lot of time on their hands. I mean, that's what it basically boils down to. I looked at Far Cry 4. I heard the announcement about it. We talked about it last week. I looked at the image. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a lot of people should. But seriously, come on, non-story. This is stupid.
Agreed.
Yep.
Movie news.
Oh, hold on, before we move on to movie news, I want to do a little snippet of information. I've been playing the PlayStation Now beta on PlayStation 3 and 4. Really good on PlayStation 4. Great streaming, works really well. Not so hot so far on the PS3. So, don't want to throw out too much information regarding that just yet because I haven't spent hours with it, considering I just got the beta installed this week. But yeah, I've played it on both PS3 and PS4.
Same internet connection, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Differences between the processor?
I couldn't tell you, man. When I first installed it on PS3, and I did a connection test, the application itself told me that I could stream games at the highest possible quality due to my internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting freezing, I was getting control lag, the games weren't looking very good. They were looking very blurry. Whereas when I got the invite like 2 days later for the PlayStation 4 PlayStation Now beta, same games ran much smoother. I wasn't getting the same type of controller lag. It was still there, just not as noticeable. Games didn't freeze on me. Everything was running significantly better. So
Okay.
It appears that, it's more aimed at that PlayStation 4 audience, which I think it'll be great for PS4 people because they'll be able to play PS3 games and whatnot.
It's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And I like the potential behind it. If they can get it to work right, where it's not laggy, it's not all jacked up, then I'd be probably on board with it. So we shall see. That's good to mention. Good point out there. So moving on to movie news. Edgar Wright departs from Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's upsetting on so many levels.
And that's supposed to be the first movie of Phase 3, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Either that or Doctor Strange.
One of those movies. I think it was Ant-Man. But yeah, dude, this is huge news because I was on board. I'm not an Ant-Man fan. All right?
I don't think there's
I don't-
really any.
I don't follow
There is one. It was Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
I don't follow Ant-Man necessarily. I mean, yes, this is my character that I care about. I'm all on board with him. Like he was in, the Ultimates. He was in books that I've read, and he's like, whatever, it's Ant-Man. My excitement came from Edgar Wright taking this property and directing it.
Yeah.
And now that he is departing for creative differences, kind of concerns me.
I think that concerns a lot of people.
And, I mean, don't get me wrong. Marvel has knocked everything pretty much out of the park. Majority of their stuff that they've done, knocked it out of the park. And now we're seeing that this happened, and it's like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Does it indicate that the studio's getting too cocky with their properties or getting too hands-on?
Well, they've always been kind of hands-on, and you and I talked about it really briefly. With Edward Norton, he wanted final edit rights, and he really wanted to do stuff with the Incredible Hulk. Marvel stepped in and nope, we're just not doing it that way, and that's why we have a different Hulk, basically, because of all that gripes and all that complaining and stuff that happened behind the scenes. So now that Edgar Wright's leaving, it's like, all right, well, what are we going to see in Ant-Man? What do you know about it, Alex?
I just know that the script was handed off to, Edgar Wright was making one script, and then there was another script being written in tandem by somebody else, and it was supposed to be kind of a collaboration between the two, but things didn't quite work out the way it was intended, which is really upsetting because from what I understand is Edgar Wright came to Marvel with the idea of this Ant-Man movie years ago, before they really started this whole huge movie universe thing. And, plot out this whole idea, and Marvel loved it. They loved it to the point where, up until these movies, they've kind of they've made the movies to the point where Edgar Wright's Ant-Man fit in there really well. And now we're not getting Edgar Wright's Ant-Man, so it's kind of like it is all for nothing, So it's upsetting on that standpoint, seeing what else Marvel could have done with the universe, provided they didn't have this. I don't want to say holding them back, but this in the back of their minds. But now to see that there's no payoff because of it, it's just another blow.
Yeah, like no word on who's going to be taking over that yet. Calls are going out to Brett Ratner. We'll see.
Oh God, please! I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed personally because I would like to see the Edgar Wright Ant-Man. I think I would have been super stoked for that, and that was my excitement. Like, to be honest with you, because it's Ant-Man.
I mean,
Like,
I saw
let's not kid ourselves.
a little test footage back when I got the box set of the Avengers Phase 1. There was
Yep.
some quick snippets. Ant looked great. It looked like, okay, this is on a really good track. It looked exciting. It looked actiony. It looked like, okay, Ant-Man's going to be fucking cool. Let's hope they could follow that same vision.
We'll see. I'm despite the departure of Edgar Wright, I'm still going to have faith
Yeah.
in Marvel making good decisions until they don't.
Yeah, like, I'm still going to see the movie regardless. I'm not as excited for it as I was, 2 days ago.
Yeah, and realistically speaking, like, when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I wasn't too stoked about Guardians. Like, they're going to do Guardians? Like, what the fuck? All right, that's cool. And then, like, you start hearing more about it. It's like, all right, that actually sounds kind of cool. And then you start seeing the footage for it, and like, all right, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully that excitement kind of is the same way with Ant-Man, where it's like, all right, they're making Ant-Man, weird. But then, like, as it starts going, you start seeing more and more stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm actually cool. Let's go see this.
They have to stumble somewhere, though. I mean, this is like an unprecedented track record of awesome movies. This Marvel universe that they've created is just.
Well, there was Thor. Can't remember.
I liked Thor. It's not the best out of all of them, but
we're giving shit Chris right now.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
giving
'cause
Chris
he-
shit right
yeah.
now.
It's still better than Captain America. I don't care.
it's an awesome universe.
Yeah.
And we've had all these awesome movies so far. We're going to see Guardians of the Galaxy next month.
Fuck yeah.
We'll see if it's any good. They have to stumble somewhere along the road. If they're going to stumble, I'll be happy if they stumble across Ant-Man, because I really don't care.
Of all the movies to stumble upon, please do Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Because he's the tiniest character. How can they stumble over that? Come on, Adam.
That's just
Physics.
that's my view of it. Sure, I'm upset that this guy that was really excited to direct this movie is no longer part of it. But if it sucks, oh well. There's going to be a bunch of other good movies. Hopefully, Avengers 2 kicks ass. We'll see what happens. I'm not too disappointed by it.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Tarantino plans a 4-hour Django miniseries.
Jenga?
The Django?
The D is silent.
Oh,
Dingo.
Dingo?
Dingo. This has to be a sequel, I would imagine, following.
Didn't we say enough?
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Like,
it's
in
3
all
hours
honesty,
long.
like the movie was 30 hours long.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the zero.
Like, it was longer than Wolf of Wall Street.
That's
and
saying something.
and they want to make another 4 hours of this movie? Come on. Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm surprised, too, because Tarantino is not really known for sequels. And let's not say Kill Bill 2, because Kill Bill 1 and 2 are one movie.
Well, he wants to make a Kill Bill 3.
What?
He does. He always wanted to make a Kill Bill 3. Like, the girl that the bride.
Oh, yeah.
Where she says, "Find me one day and
right.
we'll fight."
Yeah, like he wanted to make a movie 10 years later where she finds her and like has that confrontation and shit like that. So like he always wanted to do that, and he has it still in his mind that he still wants to make another Kill Bill going forward throughout his whatever he's making next or whatever. But the Django, like I've seen enough. I don't need to go back to it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. and I'm done with that. I guess I don't need to go back to it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe other people are like, "Fuck yeah," but I'm not that way.
I mean, would it make a good TV show
No.
or miniseries?
No. I guess
Can you
each
say,
episode he's hunting down like one slave,
depends what?
trader, owner type person, but
What-
like
Yeah, I mean, is it on network TV? Because then you can't say the N word. So then the
I-
Django is limited in that
No,
regard.
it would have to be like HBO or Showtime or something.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just saying though, like
Stars.
Yeah.
Spike,
No.
Esquire Network.
Yes.
Nick Jr.
Ooh, Nick Jr. would be perfect for that. That'd be a perfect medium. All right, because people like Quicksilver so much, he will return in Apocalypse.
Which is big news in more than one way, really. It indicates, obviously, that the characters from the new generation of X-Men movies are going to
The
be
McAvoy, the Fassbenders, they're going to be in.
the focus.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what scared me. Like this news story, it made me feel better about it because after I walked out and the credits rolled, I'm like, that was a good fucking movie. However, I need to see more McAvoy and Fassbender together, and you've set this movie up to maybe go towards the old school Singer route, where it's just he got the band back together to get them back into the Apocalypse story,
Hmm.
and that was I was really worried about that because like I want to see more of the First Class cast. And at the announcement of Quicksilver gives me that satisfaction where I will see that. And then, like, thank God.
Hmm.
Because I was really worried.
I know. A lot of us were, I think.
Yeah. So he'll be back, X-Men Apocalypse, and that's cool.
For sure.
Andrew Garfield wants to do 4 more Spider-Man films?
Because why not?
Well, no. He signed on to do 2 more, I think, but Fox is vying for an additional 2 beyond that. They want 4 total with him. 4
So that'll
more
be a total
with
of 6.
him. Yeah, Sinister 6.
Sinister 6, Spidey 6, too much
Sixth
Spidey
Sense. Spire Sense. 6 Spire Sense.
being network.
I'm sure that probably includes any cameos he might have in any of the spin-offs, like the Venom movie that they're talking about.
No, I don't think so, man. Like, if they wanted... Okay, they'll do a trilogy of The Amazing Spider-Man. 3 movies. Sinister 6... I don't even know. Whatever. Like, no. He was good. He was good as Peter Parker. I don't know if I care enough about Spider-Man at this point.
Right.
Like, it was a good movie. I don't know. I think they're trying to do too much with this damn series. Like, they have too much future plans instead of, like, delivering on the present. And that's the whole issue with this damn Spider-Man 2, where they were trying to set up Spider-Man, or the future, as opposed to focusing on the present. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah.
He's going to make a lot of money.
So do you want to see him doing 4 more Spider-Man
I don't
films?
think I want to see 4 more Spider-Man films.
You don't. Well, after him, then they're just going to reboot it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like with Bieber or something.
Oh, Christ.
Give him a vehicle.
No. Don't even jinx it like that. Because I can't stand that brat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought everybody loved him.
Chris is crazy about Bieber. He's a believer.
I know what that is, and I'm glad I don't know what that is.
That's a Bieber fan.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right, that's our news this week. That's our show.
Yeah.
How can we reach everybody?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSanberg. Coincidentally, my name in real life as well. But if you want to email me, you can email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. What about you, Adam?
I'm also on Twitter. You can reach me at Adam Howlett. It's spelled AtomHowlett. And you can also email me at our site. It's adamhowlett@lostlevel.com. This time it's spelled ADAM. And finally, Chris.
Twitter.com/calmintensity. We also have a Twitter page for Lost Level. If you could follow us on there, it's twitter.com/thelostlevel. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/lostlevel. Find us on there. Like us on there. We'd appreciate that. And we're on iTunes and YouTube as well. So we are everywhere you possibly could imagine. We'd really appreciate your support. Start liking us on there. Start following us on there. Give us some reviews. Do whatever you need to do. Spread the word. We'd really appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.